Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy Golden Falls, Golden What Ifs, whatever you want to call me, and I'm back. This is part 4 of What If Deku was the reincarnation of Darkseid. Sorry for the wait, and I know I said I was gonna do every other day. Some stuff occurred and some things popped up, and you know how it is. Sometimes this happens, but ideally I want to do every other day, so hopefully that's what ends up happening from here on out. And yeah, I don't really want to talk much more about that because I want to just get right into this what if. Let's get into where we left off. Let's get it. Izuku Midoriya is now going to take on the big 3 in his final exam. But the real question is, can they really stack up to him? Yes, I said it. Can they really stack up to Izuku Midoriya? Because he's shown on multiple occasions that his level of skill, power, intelligence is on a totally different level, and he shows that very quickly in the fight against the big 3. And the reason why he's able to show how much skill he's able to, or he's capable of, is because he understands and knows exactly what these quirks that they are using are and how they exactly work. The only hard one really is Mirio. Mirio's quirk is a difficult one to deal with, and maybe that's an understatement, but Izuku has been thinking about this for a while, and has actually seen what the strongest or 3 strongest people in UA, quote unquote, truly are capable of, and frankly, Nejire and Tamaki are kind of the ones that are behind, just a little bit, and they might just underestimate him a smidge to the point where he might get an opening or get a chance where he can easily defeat them. Now, he does put a focal point on both Nejire and Tamaki at the very beginning of this fight. At the end of the day, he knows who's going to be the strongest and the more durable out of the bunch, so he focuses on those 2 first. Now, he can easily shoot Omega Beams at them, but he knows that that has been seen quite a bit throughout this time, so they might obviously be able to scout it out and maybe avoid it to a certain extent. But he uses the Omega Beams as a distraction and is able to close the distance a mass majority of the time, and is able to land a clean blow to Nejire and Tamaki, slamming them both on the ground. This right here is a showing of how strong Izuku truly is, because when he looks down to see if they're, well, out of commission or if they're getting back up or what's going on, he realizes something that would shock him entirely, and it's that they're already out of commission. Both Nejire and Tamaki are on the ground out cold in a matter of seconds. Everybody who's currently watching his test is in complete and utter shock. Izuku stands in front of Mirio, and he could tell something is different about him, very different, as if the quirk that he once studied and once knew isn't the same as it once was. It seems like there's another quirk within him that is giving him more strength, more speed, and more just endurance in general, and it seems as if all of these things continue to surround Mirio. And as Izuku stands there face to face with Mirio, and as Mirio charges forward at him and then disappears within the ground, it's as if Izuku can then now see something that he's never seen before. It's as if he sees just this outward power that Mirio is actually giving off to a certain extent. He continues to watch, continues to look at this, and he realizes, well, he must have the power of someone that he knows, the power, well, of All Might. At least that's what it looks like. And when Mirio appears out of the ground, halfway out of the ground, he stops, completely stuck in the ground and completely just stuck there, in which Mirio is confused, saying that he can't move, in which Izuku says, yeah, he knows, because that's one of his powers, one of his strengths, one of his abilities. And of course, Mirio is completely shocked by this. He doesn't understand. How was he able to do that? He's seen his powers. I mean, yes, he has an abundance of them, but there's no way he has more. And Izuku just smiles and says, he has so much more that no one has even seen yet. This right here is just one of them. This this telekinesis is just one of them. And frankly, this is one of the more basic ones you could possibly imagine. I mean, it gets even crazier, it gets even further. And it's something that he began to learn more and more, and something that he's now realizing. And he begins to focus extremely hard on Mirio's like thought process and his mind, and he begins to tell Mirio that he now realizes that his intelligence expands so much further beyond just a thought process, beyond just a step-by-step thinking above everyone else, thinking past everyone else. No. It's so much more than that now, so much more. And Izuku hones in on the mind of Mirio, and immediately Mirio is shocked to feel something as if it's protruding into his own mind, but it stops, as if this presence isn't going to hurt him, but it can hear his thoughts, his fear, his concern, and his, well, questioning of what kind of absolute monster is standing in front of him. Izuku holds him with his telekinesis, flying off, as he actually drags Mirio with him as he escapes through the exit, going to quote-unquote get help from a hero. He lets Mirio out of his telekinesis and tells him that he is no monster. And he promises that he is far from that, and he promises to be just like him, to protect, to help, and to make sure that he is the hero that everyone seeks out for others to be. He promises to be that next All Might, in which Mirio is completely shocked. How did he hear him? How did he know his thoughts? In which Izuku would walk away, and everybody would be completely shocked at the pure dominance that Izuku was able to exhibit. And it was obvious that his level, his skill, and his just outside of all his powers, he was just at a different level in the stratosphere compared to these three, in which Aizawa just smirks, thinking that they truly have a prodigy level like hero ready to go. It's as if this kid, he's prepared to be that hero right now. If you put him out there, with other heroes, he would stand out to be the number one. He would be the greatest, and he would show everyone what he's capable of. But for now, he's still a student, so he has to go through the normal qualms of being a student, classes, and so on. But it seems like his journey to being a hero, though, will be a little bit quicker. And it seems like his journey to being the person and the hero that he's basically sought after, well, it's gonna be a lot quicker than you could possibly imagine, because, well, it seems as if Izuku's smarter, faster, better than every single other person, and it seems like his hero journey will be massively accelerated. And when he arrives back at Aizawa to tell him or to talk to him, it seems like Aizawa is just expecting him to gloat about what he did, but Izuku tells him that he knows for a certainty. He knows something that they don't, and they'll talk soon. In which Aizawa is shocked by this, but they remember something that they thought about a long time ago, something that was put on the back burner because the proof wasn't available, or the idea wasn't concrete. But now Izuku is looking into the mind of somebody, looking very, very closely from the outside in, and he hears something. An attack. He hears more. All for One, Shigaraki, the League of Villains, and the fear of Izuku Midoriya, possibly the true dark side of the hero world. It's crazy. In the mind of Aoyama, things are racing. In the mind of Aoyama, things are being said over and over again. Grief, sadness, everything all combined in one. But the thought process is, when they go on this trip, when they go to basically this forest training camp, the idea is to have people invade, have people siege there specifically, and, well, get some work done, you could say. Now, Aoyama doesn't know very, very specific details, but still, that's what the plan is. But it seems as if they're scared of Izuku, that they fear him, that him going there would be a scary, scary thing. And soon after, that will be relayed to Aizawa. Izuku explains everything that he was able to telepathically learn, and everything that basically could be set up and could be ready to go, in which everyone begins to speak about this, and they begin to wonder, maybe the trap was for All Might, maybe the whole idea in general is still to kill All Might, because I mean, All Might's expected to be there, but maybe there's more to it, more than they could possibly imagine. Now, they begin to think that maybe it is for the best that Izuku stays back, but maybe not as far back as you think. Now, Izuku is told that he's going to be separated from everybody. He's not going to have any job on this trip. He's going to be kind of in disguise in a way. He's going to be told that, or they're going to tell everybody that Izuku got a great opportunity somewhere else, and that he's not going to be involved at all, but he's actually going to be involved. On the hill nearby, there is housing and a small area that he can stay in, and he'll even be able to get some other training in with other heroes that are going to occupy him as well there. And he's going to wait, and he has full permission to basically help out if the villains do siege, but to keep him away from the site is their main goal, because that will tell them a lot about what's happening. Not only will it will tell them that Izuku is powerful, but it will also tell them that, well, they fear this student. They fear the powers and capabilities of Izuku Midoriya, and soon this plan would go into fruition, because Izuku would be hanging out at a house nearby on a mountain, and then he would begin to hear the screams of people down where they're currently training, and what's happening in the training session. And when he would look out, he would see the forest just on fire. It seems like things are chaotic and things are happening insanely quick, in which he looks at the other two heroes that are currently occupying him, and they nod their heads, as if giving a signal for Izuku to head over. It's as if it's a monster. It's as if it's a glowing red-eyed monster flying over above them, and Izuku floats above the entire forest training camp. Immediately, everybody begins to say, "Well, what is that? Look up, look." And even the students of Class 1A don't recognize him, just not initially, until they realize, wait, that's Izuku. Izuku's eyes glow a deeper red as Omega Beams begin to spew out, as they begin to track the villains and Nomus through the forest, knocking one by one out. And as it continues to do it, and as they continue to knock villain after villain out, these villains are being captured. But there's one thing that's about to happen that is going to shock Izuku, because his Omega Beams may have knocked out every villain that was there, but when a portal opens up, grabbing Bakugo and dragging him away, his Omega Beams were not able to be there in time, because he didn't know that would occur in a split of a second. It's as if they grab him, drag him away, thinking that they can maybe turn Bakugo to another side. But let's just say, the villains have no idea that they are completely wrong. Because Izuku, he may not enjoy Bakugo. He may not be the best of friends with him, but they still are childhood friends. And he remembers those times where they were best of friends. And he's going to make sure that he is safe, and that to make sure that he is fine, and he's going to make sure that the villains know to never mess with UA again. Izuku Midoriya would join back up with the heroes, and immediately would begin speaking about a plan, and would say that he can deduce very quickly on where these people are. But quickly after he says all these things, someone would approach, being that of Momo Yaoyorozu, saying that, well, it seems like one Nomu actually did get away, and she was able to stick him with a tracker. In which Izuku says that the tracker is a good start, and if he can find out where that Nomu is, he should be able to deduce the specific location of where Bakugo is currently being held. In which, when a large meeting happens with a ton of heroes, they would question why the little kid or the child, being that of Izuku Midoriya, is in there with them, but Aizawa says to shut up and listen very closely. Izuku explains the whole thing, explaining everything that he's deduced and explaining the location of where Bakugo is currently, and says that they're going to need his help, and in which they say they won't need his help because they have All Might, they have Endeavor, and so on, in which Izuku says that that still won't be enough. Not enough to stop this here and now. Not enough to stop the villains, known as the League of Villains, from enacting even further plans that they have basically in order. He tells them all of what their future plans are, the strength that they are trying to find, the power that they are trying to find. They can stop this here and now, but they have to let him do what he needs to do, in which all of them say that he is no hero, not yet. He is a student, but Aizawa vouches for him and says that he is far beyond a student. He is far beyond anything anyone could possibly imagine, and this is something that he should be allowed to do. In which that one vouch may go a good far way, but it seems like a lot of them still reject the idea. But Izuku, well, he tells them that they can accept it, they cannot accept it, but it's not like any of them could stop him. And maybe he truly is going to be the dark side of this hero world, at least as a hero himself, because guess what? He's not going to play by their rules if they're going to more or less play with the life of another student. In which all of them are shocked to hear this, but Izuku stands up, gives the location, and tells them that he'll be seeing them there, and they don't have a choice in this matter. He flies off as they prepare, well, basically prepare the infiltration of trying to stop the League of Villains. And this infiltration would be far easier to a certain extent, but Izuku would want to be there to make sure that he can not only stop the League of Villains that are currently there, but also, well, make sure everyone is safe and imprison every last partner of the League of Villains if absolutely possible. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He awaits, well, the villains to show face, and soon when they try to invade and take Bakugo, a large attack would then pursue. And then a fight with All For One and All Might would begin as well. This fight would shock everybody and would shock everyone to their core, believing that maybe All For One would have been dead by now, but he is not dead. He is far from it. All For One is now facing down with All Might, but it seems like he won't be alone in this fight, and the other villains that are currently trying to help All For One during this fight as well will be subdued in a matter of seconds, because Izuku would shoot his Omega Beams, knocking out the likes of Shigaraki, Hirogiri, and any other villains that are left over, and he immediately fuses his telekinesis to just imprison them and put them basically in a spot where they cannot leave and they cannot go anywhere, holding them entirely as he flies up to face down All For One with All Might by his side. All Might tells him that this is a fight for himself and this is a fight for him to do alone, but Izuku refuses to allow that to happen, telling him that All For One falls today and the rest of the League of Villains will be vanquished. In which All For One is completely shocked, and even Izuku can hear the thoughts of All For One. This is the first time in his life where he doesn't know what's going to happen, in which Izuku would laugh and tell All For One that he's not as big, as strong, or even as scary as he once thought he was, that he knows exactly what he wants to do, exactly what he's going to do, and frankly, he's going to be behind bars with everyone else, and nothing is going to stop it. In which Izuku tells him and shows him that he is so much stronger than he could possibly imagine, in which it would force All For One's hand to do something that he never knew he would do, at least not this early, and that would release all, if not every last Nomu he possibly has. And this is to the Doctor's dismay, but he says that he has no choice. It doesn't matter if they're finished, it doesn't matter if they're fixed, it doesn't matter if they're strong enough. They need every last one, because this right here is truly the final gambit. all of them would begin flooding out as heroes would begin trying to face and fend off as many as possible. Izuku would be forced to even allow All Might to take on All for One by himself, and he's making sure as well that Shigaraki and many others do not get away. With his Omega Beams, with his strength, he's able to mow through a ton of the Nomus, being that these Nomus, they are not human anymore, they're not even alive, so killing them is not of just out of this world idea. He definitely pulls the trigger as quick as possible, disintegrating Nomu after Nomu, and as he does this and continues to do this, he feels the shakes and the quakes of All Might and All for One clashing over and over and over again. Izuku mows down Nomu after Nomu, and even focuses down some of the stronger Nomus he's ever seen, some that even actually fight back, some that are even capable of fighting back against himself. But luckily he's able to get the upper hand with his high level of IQ and his skilled combat prowess. He's able to take them down as well. And let's just say a lot of the heroes watch this and they begin to think that this version, this person, and this version of Izuku, this being that is doing all of this, well, he is no student. He's already ascended far beyond that. But that is for another time and another talk, because this could be the end of All for One's legacy right here and right now. Nomu after Nomu falls, and after all of them are gone, it would just be All for One and All Might standing in front of each other with one last fight and one last clash. One United States of Smash going head to head with All for One would send him plummeting to the ground, knocking him out entirely, and a small version of All Might would put up his fist and would point to the camera and say that it is now your turn and that you are next. Immediately everybody cheers. Everybody that is in other cities watching this unfold cheer, and they're all happy and excited. But luckily for now, the heroes stand victorious, and everybody is safe. All for One is gone, or at least put in prison. So is Shigaraki and the rest of the League of Villains, and that includes people like Dabi and many others. And it seems as if everything is at peace, at least for now, because we know that there are many things leading up to this that may occur. But it seems as if Izuku is going to get a nice surprise, because when he arrives back at UA High School, it seems as if there's a test and many other tests sitting right in front of him, and they tell him that if he's as smart, as intelligent, as capable, and as everything that he is basically shown he is, well then all of this should be no problem at all, and this will accelerate his hero work process and would accelerate him straight out of UA High School into the pro hero scene. Izuku Midoriya stands there looking at the papers in complete awe. So you're telling me that if I pass all of this, that I can be a pro hero? Aizawa would tell him that that is correct, and Izuku would be extremely excited, because that's all he ever wanted, to be a pro hero. But he has to now give a new goal, and it's not just to be a pro hero, it's to be the #1 pro hero in the world. But that is for another part, and for part 5 of What If Deku Was the Reincarnation of Darkseid. If you enjoy, show some love, leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. Hope y'all enjoyed the video, and if you did, show some love, leave a like, and all that good stuff like I said. And yeah, I'm sorry for the delay, but I hope y'all enjoyed the video nonetheless, and I'll be getting part 5 out not tomorrow, but the next day. Not sure if it's gonna be 5 parts or 6 parts. I don't know if tomorrow or if the next video will be the finale or not. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.